I didn't realize how sick liberals were until this Charlie Kirk situation. Like, I don't want to live on the same planet as these people. Like, I have experienced real racism in my life, actually. You know? And I don't think those people deserve death. You guys can't even deal with an actual, like, political discourse with a center-right political figure. It makes me sick to my stomach that I have to live amongst you. It makes me sick to my stomach that you guys exist in our society. You guys can say whatever you want. Conservatives have a heart and a soul far more than you ever will. More than you ever will.
I mean, he ain't lying. He ain't lying. We do have more of a heart and a soul than them folks on the left ever will. But, you know, it seems like there is a growing, okay? I'm not going to say a majority or anything like that, but there are a growing number of especially black folks who are like waking up and realizing, yo, I'm not actually a Democrat. As a matter of fact, I posted a YouTube short earlier. If you haven't seen it, definitely go and check it out. Make sure you're checking out my YouTube shorts. If you're not checking those out, you're missing out on a lot of good stuff. And go and subscribe to the second channel. It is called Extra Rich. The link is down below in the description box. You're missing out on some good stuff over there as well that I don't always discuss on this channel. So go and subscribe to the second channel. Anyway, but there are a growing number of black folks who are walking away from the Democrat Party and are happy to speak openly about it. With that being said, let's dive in.
I first started listening to Charlie in 2016. I started listening to him because I was on a search. I was looking at things around me and I knew that something was off. I knew that something wasn't right. So I grew up in a Democrat household. I remember when Obama became the first black president. And yeah, the first black president. But anyways, when that happened, I was at home and we was watching it on TV. And I remember, like, when we found out that he won, everybody in the house started clapping and, like, cheering. My mom, like, she even got emotional. And I never thought my mom really cared about politics at all. So as I'm clapping right along with my family, I've always been this kind of person. I've always been the kind of person who I don't say much, but I observe more than I say. So I pay attention to things. So in that exact moment, as I'm clapping and cheering with my family, I immediately stop because I'm looking around and I'm like, why? I asked a lot of questions. I turned to my mom and I asked her, I said, Mama, why are we happy? Like, why are we cheering? And my mama said that Democrats have always been the party for black people. So I remember, like, I took note of that. But in my mind, I was thinking, well, it doesn't seem like they've helped us much. Because I've seen a lot of patterns in my own family growing up. And not just in my own family, but in the black community as a whole. I pay attention. And I see patterns that are not getting better, but are actually getting worse under the Democrat Party. So I took note of that, even though at this time I was in 11th grade and I didn't know nothing about politics. Fast forward to 2016 and Trump was running for president. There was so much negativity coming out of the mouth of people that I was familiar with that I was shocked. I didn't understand what was going on because, I grew up hearing nothing but good things about Trump. I mean, we saw him in the music videos, the black music videos and everything. So I was confused as to why now are we being told to dislike this man? Why now are we being told that this man is a racist? The same man who was appearing in y'all music videos? The same man that y'all spoke so highly of? Something is not right.
Also the same man that had the most popular TV show on TV. I mean, everybody knew about Trump's show. Everybody. Every single person. And not one time was he kicked off of air because he was racist. Not one single time. Not one single time did any of these black folks that we've all seen in these pictures with him call him racist. Not one single time. He wasn't called racist until he wanted to be president, and he actually won. And they realized, oh crap, Trump's not one of us. He's actually an outlier in the crew. We can't have this. Because I feel for so long, and maybe we'll talk, maybe we'll get into a separate video on this, but I just want to briefly touch on it. I feel like for so long, Democrats and Republicans in the past, right, were just two wings on the same bird. And I've heard a lot of people say that, and some people still say that now. And does it ring true now? A tiny bit. I think so, for sure. We still do have some rhinos in the party. But I think that Trump is an outlier, and my proof of that is everything that they've tried to do to this man. If he was actually part of them and he was galvanizing America to get behind him, if he was truly a part of their, in group, right? Part of the same bird, why would they try to off him? Why would they demonize him so badly? Why would they try to throw him not in jail, but under the jail for 700 years? Why would they do that? They wouldn't. They wouldn't. They might say a few mean things about him, like, yeah, no, we can't have this guy as president, to make it look good. But they wouldn't go as far as what they've done. So to me, that signifies, oh, Trump's not one of you. And you know it. He's the one that's breaking the whole system down from the inside. But that's just the way I see it. Let's continue on. Y'all let me know if you agree, all right?
Asking questions. And so because I wanted understanding, I went on a search. And that is how I came across Charlie Kirk. And it was through Charlie Kirk's content that I started watching Candace Owens, Brandon Tatum, and Terrence Williams. So through Charlie Kirk's content, I started listening to 3 other voices. All 3 of them were black. And all 3 of them were close with Charlie Kirk. And that is how I started listening to their content as well. I have not once heard Charlie Kirk say anything racist. Everything he said was spot on. Like, I can tell you that as a black person who's been black all my life. And I can tell you one thing for sure. What he was saying was straight up facts. It's just a lot of us don't want to hear it. And that's where the problem come in. Because we want to be stuck in this slave victim mentality. And it is so sickening. Aren't y'all tired? You ain't never been a slave a day in your life. Your ancestors wish they had the type of freedom that you have. And you sitting around here moping and complaining, talking about somebody got you oppressed. You don't even know what being oppressed means. And you need to get over yourself.
Talk that talk, girl. Talk that talk. That is 1,000% facts. 1,000% facts. These folks today ain't never been slaves, and the white people today ain't never been slave owners. So what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Like she said, the people that were truly slaves, bro, they would have loved to be walking in our shoes today. And yet you have so many black people still crying and complaining, whining. Oh, it's the white man's fault this, the white man's fault that. And it's just so sad and pathetic, because then you have black so-called leaders, right? Leaders ain't lead me. It's like the blind leading the blind, okay? Ain't lead me. I ain't going, coach. I am not going. But you got these so-called leaders that prey on that and make money off of it. You never see these folks show up in Chicago where there's black people killing black people en masse. You never see it. The only time you see it is when it happens to be a white person or a cop that ends a black person's life, and then they pop up out of the blue, and now they got a whole bunch of stuff to say. Oh no, this is outrageous, blah blah blah. But my question is, where were you in Memphis? Where were you in Chicago? Where were you in Baltimore? Where were you in New Orleans? Where are you in all of these different cities where black people are dying in mass? Where are you? Nowhere to be found. You know why? Because there's no money to be made off of it. But anyway, let's carry on. Let's play this one. I got several clips, so I'm like on the fly deciding which clip to play, which one. We're gonna rock with this one.
Those protests, they just don't hit the same way that they used to. They don't anymore. Why? Because we peep game. These Democrats, we now see what y'all used to do and how we used to fall for it. So now when you do it, it doesn't work. We've already peeped game. National Guards ain't doing nothing wrong. Ain't nobody coming out really complaining about the National Guards. What citizen in DC really has a problem with that? All I've been seeing actually are people in DC talking about how much they love the change. No crime. Who doesn't want crime to stop? Huh? Come on, man. Y'all want some other shit. Seriously. At this point, if you can't see the clear difference between who's for you and who isn't, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you don't want to see. Maybe you don't want to see. That's how I'm seeing it at this point. I mean, what happened to we were all going back to slavery, y'all? What happened to that? Weren't we all going to be shackled up? Weren't we supposed to be in war? What happened to all this? They make these false claims that are based off of fear that never ever show up. And those of you who are supporting the Democrats, at what point are you going to start questioning these things that they said was going to happen that never happened? Never happened. Wake up, yo. Seriously, how much more knocking on the head do you need? Just wake up. Wake the hell up. It's not working. They don't like the fact that they're losing control. That's what's going on. They don't like the fact that how they used to move is no longer. President Trump is a businessman. If you follow the money, you'll figure out who's doing what. And that's exactly what he did. They had a problem with Doge. Follow the money. Come on. Come on. So at this point, Trump ain't done nothing wrong. He may have done something wrong in their eyes, and I understand that. Because if you got a wrong agenda and somebody's coming and fucking up your plan and how you making your money, all right, I get that. But he ain't done nothing wrong. Y'all just got caught. Now y'all trying to gaslight us. Make us look in another place when y'all are the ones that are corrupt and being exposed. But I say it like this. At some point, those of you who are in office and have been scamming the people, there's a time coming where you're going to have to, you're no longer going to be protected. You're going to have to walk the streets and face these people that you've lied to. That ain't going to go well. It's not going to go well. What we're getting from Trump is exactly what we voted for, period. So, keep doing what you're doing, President Trump. We love it.
Yeah, absolutely. We love what Uncle Trump is doing, man. We love it. We love it. We love it. But he said something interesting. And, you know, I hope that, you know, it doesn't happen. I don't want to see people be hurt or harmed, even if I vehemently disagree with these Democrat politicians. Even once, you know, people on the left do finally wake up. And eventually, I think that there are still a lot more folks on the left that will wake up. I know it sounds crazy, but once again, I was once one of those individuals who could not see through the smoke screen and was just completely lost in the sauce, right? Not long ago, obviously, hindsight is always 20/20. Now I can look back like, bro, how in the world was I so lost, man? Like, what? I don't know. But when you're in it, it's hard to see out of it. It's virtually impossible to see out of it. You know, Democrats, listen, as much as I disagree with these politicians, man, and mainstream media, they do a good job of instilling certain things in people's brains. That's why they repeat the same lines. You know, I always joke about it and laugh about it and call them out on it, but they do that intentionally because it works. If you just keep repeating stuff to people, especially when other folks are repeating the same things to those people, eventually it sticks. It becomes the gospel, right? And so when you're in it, it's hard to see out of it, man. But I do think eventually people are going to wake up. And, you know, I hope and I pray that none of this turns violent, because that's not what you ever want to see. I do want to see people arrested for their crimes, right? But then also, I want to see people completely banished politically, right? I want to see their political careers gone. Not them, not their life itself, but their political career. I wanted to make that clear, if that wasn't already clear enough, so nobody twist my words. Oh my goodness, she's calling for... No, I said their political career gone. I want to see them get Liz Cheney'd, right? Y'all remember what happened to Liz Cheney when she started stepping out of line? She got voted out in massive numbers. She got absolutely embarrassed politically to the point where she was out campaigning for Kamala. She turned into a whole Democrat, you know? I mean, even though she was pretty much a Democrat already. Anyway, yeah, man, I don't want to see people turn violent, but I do want to see some consequences, right? Some people go to prison. Some people's political careers be ended. Because what this Democrat Party has done to half of this country is absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy, man. But people are waking up slowly. I can't even talk. Slowly but surely. So it's a beautiful thing, man. Y'all get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions about all of this. Oh, happy day, man. I love when I come across more clips of people waking up and talking about their stories. Stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.